you guys doing today? Is Lamore. Welcome to my channel. I want to give you guys a great DIY project for your home. This was a project that I wanted to do for a while because the front splash of my island was pretty bare. I wanted more characteristic to the island, to add up a little bit more, depth so that when people come in, like, oh, this is a home, and I always loved exposed brick or brick tiling. I didn't find exposed brick specifically, but I went to Home Depot and they had something called the Crema stacks, which is like tiling and it's actually stone and wood mixed together. So it looks similar to brick. I did shop around on Amazon, but they had mainly like PVC. So it didn't feel real to the touch. It looked real when you saw it from afar, but it wasn't real. So I went to Home Depot and they had just what I wanted. I did have to measure my island, which is 34 length by 90 width. So I needed about 30 peeling sticks because these are peeling sticks, which makes it more simpler when you're putting on the tiling. The only thing is, sometimes depending on your island where you're putting it, you may have to cut the peeling sticks, which is kind of difficult depending on the shape of your island or the area that you're putting. All right, so let's get right to it. First, I'm using my Dremel to cut the tiling. I didn't have all the tools to cut the tiling because it is actually stone and wood. So you can't like break it with your hands or a scissor because it'll kind of damage the whole tile. So I had to find my Dremel and I changed the top of it so that it can be kind of finer so that I can cut the tiling, which was kind of good. So if you do have a Dremel at home or a saw, the saw was kind of tough because I tried the saw first, but it didn't cut through it because of the stone and the line wasn't becoming straight. So I had to use the Dremel. So if you do have a Dremel at home or a saw, if you do, use that. Don't try to use a scissor or a knife, a X-Acto knife, those things which you can use for certain tiles because it won't cut. As you can see, when I'm cutting it, I have to kind of break it too as well because it's very thick. And then at the end, I will kind of use a scissor so the line could be very straight because if I use the Dremel then break it, it might break more of what I'm trying to break within the line that I made. So yeah, make sure that you're using a Dremel maybe halfway through it and then you cut with a scissor so that you can have a straight line because depending on the area that you're going to put the peeling stick, you may need to cut it to kind of fit it in there, which I did. And one thing, don't make it perfect when you're cutting it as well because you want to give it a kind of characteristic. As you can see, it's not perfect there, but it's not a big deal because I kind of fix it with the Dremel. And it looks good too. You want it to look real, you want the backsplash to look like, wow, this is really tiling here. So don't worry about it not being perfect, so just cut and worry about it later. If you do like your things perfect and your line straight, then use a saw. If you can rent one at your local Home Depot or local store, or you have one, use a saw because it will kind of, electric saw at that, it'll kind of give it a straight line that you want. But me, I had to use a Dremel, so I didn't really worry about the tiling being perfect or perfectly cut, So yeah, as you can see, it was a big challenge for me though, because sometimes I would cut the tiling and then have to fix it again because it wouldn't kind of fit into the other pieces that I'm putting, which was kind of tough, because it's just like a puzzle when you're putting on the tiling. Sometimes the pieces fit and you'll have a good job, but then sometimes you'll take the piece and put it in there and it doesn't fit. So you'll have to kind of Dremel the area a little bit to make it more smoother so that it can fit. This piece right here was a big clutch for me, because I kind of couldn't break it with my hand. And because when I break it with my hand, it would kind of break more of the tiling, which I didn't want because it wasn't perfect, So right now I'm sticking on there. And just so you know, when you do stick it on there, make sure it fits before you put it on there, because that adhesive on there will make it stick right away. It doesn't give you a second chance to move it or anything. So if you do put it on there, make sure it fits first, and then take off the the paper so you can use the adhesive, because it will stick on there and it's not going anywhere after that. So yeah. So after I sticked everything, I use caulk. It is pink there, so it goes on pink first, and then it dries white. And I wanted to kind of fill in the holes on the sides so that it can look more real. And so you put the caulk on the side, and then you kind of wipe off the excess, so when it dries, it doesn't dry on the tiling. So yeah, don't make it perfect either. So just put on the side of the caulk and it'll be fine. So this is the ending of the DIY project that I did. As you can see, it gives it more of a characteristic in the living room. It looks clean. I'm very, very pleased with it. It was a challenge to me because all the tiling didn't fit. And as you can see, some of the tiling comes out, some of the tiling comes in. I still have to fill in the holes with the caulk. I didn't do all of it, but yeah, this is the end result. Tell me in the comments what you guys think. Will you do this project? Will you do something different? Would you use the caulk, or do you like the natural look of it with the kind of the gaps in there that it has? Because as you can see, some of the area there, I didn't put any caulk yet, so you can see kind of the difference of the two. So yeah, tell me in the comments what you guys think. Would you do this project, or would you do something different? There is many talents, so I'll put in the link in the description. All right, peace.